Hey guys, today we are looking at a replay from this Marana, and the context for this is a Crusader 2, is he said this was everything you should not do when playing Pause 4. Maybe there was more context. Explain roaming as a position 4 and use this replay to talk about what you shouldn't do. My thoughts on roaming as this game starts is it's part opportunistic. Like, you can't plan right now to be like, oh, I'm gonna roam at 5 minutes into the game and then just do it when 5 minutes comes, because that could just end up being bad. Because you don't know what's gonna be happening in your lane at 5 minutes. Maybe, you know, they're diving your Visage under tower at 5 minutes and you should probably be there, you know? So you can't just straight up plan out to roam. The only time where I would say it's probably good to plan to roam is for the 6-minute runes, especially as pause 4 can be pause 5 too. You should be looking to look for the 6-minute runes and help your mid laner get them. That's something you can do at any MMR. And so to talk more about the opportunistic part of it, so if you can't plan it out, when is a good time to do it? It's when your offlaner's chilling. When you're pause 4, it's when your offlaner's chilling and doesn't need you, and the lane's good. There's some nice arrows working in here. Pretty sweet. So here, you're participating in the lane. This is all good, right? You wouldn't just walk away from the lane here, right? I mean, yes, it's early, but you're clearly having some sort of impact on this lane. It's mostly positive. So generally, if you can get the lane equilibrium pulled back to be under their tower, that's when you want to look to roam. Not under the tower, but in front of your tower. And then also, ideally, is blocking their small camp. So this Sand King is not pulling for them. Granted, the lane's kind of okay right now. It was further up a little bit earlier. So right now the lane's pushing into them, but you want to be able, you want the lane to be in a good spot for your team, for your side, and then you want them to not be able to fix it. And then you could go roam. So right here, you could leave because, well, actually what you should do is you should pull, and then you should leave. Because if you pull, the lane will be fixed. Sand King's not here, so he can't stop you. A bit of a late pull. And here, the pull wasn't completely necessary, actually, because they did have 2 creeps left based on that scenario that happened. So it's a little tricky to say. The lane's up here, but if it's about to bounce back, then you don't need to pull, right? But if the lane is you know, here and pushing into them, then that's when you'd want to get a pull off, right? So it can change a lot if you do it 30 seconds before or after when you think you should. So right now, this is a reasonable time to leave the lane. You're stacking, which is a roaming thing to do, right? You're not in the lane, and that's kind of fine because your Visage is chilling under his tower. So this is a good example of when to leave your lane to go do something else. And here, there's no reason for you to come back here because your Visage is just chilling. The only thing that it's you would need to do here is try and stop the Sand King from pulling and not die while doing it. And that's all your Visage needs you to do. Is this guy gonna drag it under tower? What's this guy even doing? He's sort of trying to keep it outside of his tower, which is what he should be doing. And if he's doing that correctly, then you should just start off with the assumption that they will, and then if they end up not doing it, then you can adjust. But assuming he's doing this correctly and trying to keep the lane outside of his tower, you don't need to be here. This sort of weird pull thing doesn't need to happen. You would just want to stop them from pulling, which is kind of the only thing that fixes the lane equilibrium for them. And you have the option of stopping them from pulling. If you have a sentry camp, sometimes if you sentry the camp, sometimes they won't be able to, right? Or you can just try and right click the neutrals as they try and pull them away so they aggro to you instead. There's a couple different ways you can stop them from getting the pull off. And assuming that you've done that, or, maybe you're fine letting him fix the lane for a little bit, you can also use the opportunity to roam mid if it's a round of rune timing, or your mid seems strong. If you think an arrow could have a big impact. So that's when you would want to look to roam, is this sort of situation. Granted, you're like kind of out of mana now, and now they have gotten the pull off. So this is a good pull. So they pulled, but you also pulled. So that was a good attempt there. Yeah, and the lane stayed back. The lane stayed back. So that was nice. That was nice. Yeah, and if you like have like a bunch of mana, you can. It like opens you up to the opportunity to like make a TP play if you needed to. Like if you wanted to like TP bottom and, you know, throw an arrow out there. And that's not something I look to do regularly. Like, I'm not always looking to TP away from my lane. I kind of would rather stay in my lane and chill. But I definitely like to, you know, possibly go mid. At least for the rune timings. Yeah, you're spending a lot of time sitting here stacking. Yeah, you just don't really have the mana. Just want you to have more mana than this. And eat more of your tangos. Nice arrow again. Using these leaps pretty, a lot. Using the leaps a lot. And yeah, you're still having fun flowing out of your mana. So that's like kind of the thing that you want to be doing differently here. So I don't think your roaming here is too bad, honestly. It wasn't like perfect, but you did take that one opportunity to go stack when your Visage didn't need you. So it's about identifying like when your team needs, like when you're needed by your offlaner and when you're not needed. Okay, so you TP'd away because it looked like something was happening. And in this situation, before I wrap it up, it's important to, like, if you come here and you didn't do anything, which is what happened, which is fine. That, like, sometimes you, like, come and, like, nothing comes of it, and that's okay. What's important is that you, like, understand if you're still needed there or not, and then go back to your original lane. Like, this is all fine and good. Like, I'm fine with you, like, fighting them here. It's, like, whatever. But, like, once it's over, right, do you go back to your lane? Do you need to go back to your lane? I would say, like, this Visage doesn't really need help against a Lifestealer, and you guys don't have a lot of kill threat against him, so I think it's kind of okay that you're not going back, but it's something you'd want to keep in mind. Like, do I need to go back to this lane? So you are going back. Yeah, see, I just don't think there's a reason for you to be here, just because you guys specifically don't have a lot of kill threat against him. I mean, even if Visage had perfectly chain stunned there, I still don't think you guys have the damage. Here's just too tanky, and then he just rages, infests, whatever. Gotta wrap it up here. You're dusting your inventory, and yeah, using all these leaps is killing you. Trying to be more conservative with your leaps. The only other thing I'll say is that Urn is really bad against teams that have an Abaddon, so I wouldn't go Urn against, like, Abaddon or Oracle, unless you're only planning on using it for the heals, in which case, you know, you can kind of get it and, like, just heal, but, like, using it offensively when the enemy has an Abaddon is, like, yeah, pretty meh. That was kind of my thoughts on roaming. Maybe we can look real quick an example of a game I played. So let's take a look at the roaming that I did here, just as a comparison. This lane with a Slardar, Slark CM, a really dangerous lane. So part of like roaming or not roaming is like how dangerous is the lane? Like, can they kill your offlaner if you leave them? In this case, I would say yes, they can. So here I did some creep dragging. Which is really nice because they have super high kill threat against Slardar, and Slardar is a hero that hits his power spike like a level 4. So if Slardar can do absolutely nothing and not be under threat until he gets his level 4, that's what he wants to do. Okay, let's take a look at this, because this is the first time I leave lane. So I drag twice, and then I go leave lane to not drag again. I could walk up to prepare to drag again, but here this is a really good opportunity to deny the TA a rune. This TA's got a bottle, my guy's got a bottle. This guy hasn't used his bottle charges yet, but like, if I wasn't here, he would come top, use all 3 of these bottle charges, grab this, and get 2 more, and now he's gonna get 0. Oh no, I left it here. I think I left it here because I thought he might need it. I think somebody went and got the other one, so I thought my guy would come get the top one. I don't know if he ended up doing it. Yeah, he did. But that was the thought, was like deny rune. So that's one of the reasons I left. And Slardar, part of why this is okay is like if we like come back and watch this from the Slardar's perspective. So what happened with Slardar while I left? He was chilling, farming under his tower or behind the tower. Then he was farming right in front of the tower. Now he's got a big creep wave here, so Slark can't really man up. Like he sort of can, but we've got like a bigger creep wave, and Slardar hit level 3. He's already level 3, so like it's not like a level. Yeah, this is a big power spike already. Like, you can't chase, but like at level 3 you can like kind of bully, especially melee heroes. So like I'm back, and like the Slardar was fine the whole time I left. So that's, you know, was that roam good? Did it accomplish something? Sort of, yeah, you know. Kind of made sure the rune was secure. In some cases it'll matter a lot, in some cases it won't matter quite as much. But my offlaner was chilling the whole time. I could have killed that guy, I suppose, but it's like whatever. Doing some fighting, pulling to get the lane equilibrium back. This is like a pretty good pull because it was like under their tower, so this is going to deny like this whole wave to Slark. He's going to get one of those creeps. And as I pulled, what did I do? I walked away. I pulled, walked away. What's happening with my Slardar? He's chilling. Right outside of his tower, right? He's just chilling right outside of his tower. And this time it was really influential. I did take this rune from this TA, and my guy did get the other one, and his TA has an empty bottle. So, really influential leave of the lane there for me. And it was just because I wasn't needed. And I set up the situation to, like, be not needed, right? I got the pull off. It was a stack pull. The lane equilibrium got fixed from being under their tower to being right outside of our tower, and my Slardar is, like, super chilling. Now I come back, and we have, like, massive kill threat on this CM. If he wants to like do anything. We decided to chill here just so Slardar could free farm, because Slardar also likes free farming. But at any point, we can just kind of go on them. Here I do die. You know, that's not even the topic of the video. We're just talking about roaming, so don't even worry about it, guys. So don't go straight back to my lane. I come mid to gank this TA, which is like a roaming thing. And Slardar has left the lane because he was really low. So I could have TP'd back to like get XP, right? I could have TP'd back to my lane, but that's like, nah. Nah, don't do that. Go help another lane, you know? So we help mid. This guy melts. I have the sentry. I placed it outside of tower range. I do die here, but their mid does end up dying, so overall pretty good. And so now I go back to my lane with boots, no TP. So when you're a roamer and you're... So two things here. When you're a roamer and you have no TP, or position 4 I should say, and you have no TP and you died and you're respawning, you should like by default go back to your lane, assuming your hero's like helpable and not getting like owned or something, which is not the case, right? Me and Start are massive kill threat if I go here, so by default I'm coming back here. And then this Void Spirit TP'd in, which changed my calculus. I was like, oh well, like they're gonna like do whatever this play is, and I don't have a way to be there quickly anyways. Like I'm not gonna be there for whatever's, I'm not going to be there in time for whatever is about to happen. You could say like, oh, maybe they're gonna TP in like a bunch of heroes, right? Yeah, it's possible. But instead, I just decided to soak some XP mid because of all my roaming. I am very low leveled right now. It's the hero level. You can see I am very low level right now. So I took this great opportunity to just soak some XP mid. And here, I kind of sapped the rest of the XP, but I wanted to stack for my Sven. He had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. It's like, now I'm stacking. And now I'll go play with my Slardar again, because, you know, that's the default. That's like my default, and what I want to be doing. There's no room to get. I got to stack off. Like, it's okay to leave, but you should by default look to go back unless something else pressing is like immediately happening. So this CM is just food, because Marcy's a cool hero, and I can just close the gap on her from like 1,000 units away. So, and now that we've got this kill and my Slardar's chilling with a wave again, I can now leave. Because we're not looking to kill the Slark. The Slark's about to farm a wave under tower. My Slardar's got a big wave. They're not going to like threaten to kill him, right? Very unlikely. And this is an opportunity for me to leave again. I see there's two mid, and I'm not thinking that I want to like go on them. So I'm kind of like deciding what to do. I'm like, do I roam bottom? Do I go mid? They killed the Timbersaw bottom. So there's a lot going on. You have to constantly like decide, like, what am I doing? And I end up just electing to chill for the 8-minute rune. Don't end up getting it, but that was my goal. Would have denied it to them. And then I kind of try and join whatever this is. So I'm going to wrap up here, but you kind of saw, like, when I was leaving is when my Slardar didn't really need me. And the situation was set up such that he didn't need me. Like, I'm not going to randomly leave if the lane's just even and, like, all 4 heroes are in the area and my Slardar is going to get bodied if I walk away. Like, that's not when you leave. You leave when, you know, you've got to pull off the lanes outside your tower. You leave when your Slaughter's returning to base and you don't have anything to do in the lane anyways. These situations are when you should look to leave. So hopefully that was helpful. Video on roaming, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. And if you want to be coached by me, check the link in the video description. You can join my Discord there, and there's all the information there on how to sign up.